What's up, everybody? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another summertime episode of Thompson and Stuff. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So much to talk about, but as always, I miss y'all so much. We just got off Mother's Day. I hope all of my mother listeners out there enjoyed their Mother's Day. So Mother's Day was this past Sunday. Um, didn't really do anything with my mother. My mother actually left the whole day. I let her spend the day with herself. It was pretty peaceful. Got a lot of work done by myself here. But happy Mother's Day to my grandmother and my aunt. I actually got a chance to spend time with them. We went out to dinner and at Cracker Barrel. Now let me tell y'all something about Cracker Barrel's pancakes. If you like pancakes with the Crispies on it, Cracker Barrel is for you. I don't care what they say about you go in the restaurant and it just whispers racism. It's good food, but fortunately, don't eat the smoked sausages. If you have health issues like I do, you walk around with swollen feet. But anyway, besides Mother's Day, I have been pretty busy getting new content together. I have a surprise for y'all. I know y'all probably didn't click this interview and be like, oh, she's got another surprise for us. So, about a couple months ago, maybe a month ago, I dropped a video on my YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, Amanda Thompson, stating my new project to expand my empire, which, as I stated before, that's my focus for this year is expanding and building my brand. On my YouTube, I have decided to do movie, book, TV show, and documentary reviews. So, as you guys know, if you've been listening to me for the past couple years, I normally would write down something I watched or something I read, and I would review it on here for like 5 minutes. I just dropped my first review for the movie Air. It's on my YouTube channel. Again, follow me, subscribe. I'm trying to build that too, Amanda Thompson. Also, a lot of people have been asking me, when am I going to write some books? So I wrote 2 books in the rough draft part of the process. I guess I can announce this now. With the Meridian Dream that is available on Amazon, you can purchase your copy there. There will be 2 other books it will be a book series. So it'll be 3 book series. The Meridian Dream, which is already out. Then it's going to have its sequel, The Meridian Nightmare. And then I'm also working on a prequel to close out that book series. Again, Meridian Dream is available. I'm still working on the next 2, so I will let you guys know when that will be released. Also, follow me on Instagram, adashamariesonofthom. You can follow the official podcast page, Thompson and Stuff Official. You can follow me on TikTok, amandamarts1, and you can also follow me on Twitter, amandamartom something. Just type in Sovereign of the Southland, I'll come right up. So let's get into this podcast. I got a lot to talk about, a lot on my heart. Thank y'all for your support. Also, shout out to India and shout out to Finland. I see y'all. Very recently, I decided to expand my listeners. Shout out to my listeners from iHeart. Shout out to my listeners from Amazon Music. Shout out to my listeners from Apple. Shout out to my listeners from all over. I thank y'all for your support and thank you for listening to Little Old Me. So let's get into it. So I want to start off with what everyone's been talking about today, or the past couple days. Well, hell, the past couple weeks or months. Ja Morant. Ja Morant is in trouble again. Okay, so y'all know I don't really watch the NBA. I haven't watched the NBA since I was like in high school because I remember turning on the TV one day. I was probably in high school, probably just started college. I don't know these basketball players like that. I don't know their name. I don't know what a Luka Doncic is or a Giannis. I only hear their names in these rap songs. So Ja Morant plays for the Memphis Grizzlies, and y'all know how grimy Memphis is. I got family out there. Shout out to them. I know for a fact they grimy. So Ja Morant went on the internet and flashed a gun again. What is it with this generation of going on the internet flashing guns? I mean, congratulations, you're a gun holder. Why you want to show it off, you know? So, I guess Ja Morant did it the second time. Y'all know what happened? Consequences and repercussions. Ja Morant had his shoes taken off the website and all this crazy stuff. I don't know what's wrong with this generation of basketball player. I mean, dude, you're a NBA player. Now, God rest his soul, David Stern did not play. I remember David Stern. I used to watch the NBA from when I was a little girl to 17, 18, or whenever Allen Iverson retired. And again, David Stern did not play. When, like, probably the early 2000s or something, he changed the dress code. And outside looking in, it was Allen Iverson's fault. And David Stern was like, nope, when you come to a game, you got to wear a suit. Y'all remember when Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith got into that brawl at Madison Square Garden? David Stern did not play. He suspended J.R. Smith for like 10 games, and Carmelo got suspended for like 15 games. He ain't play. So now we got the new guy in town. Well, not he's fairly new to me because I'm still not used to seeing the NBA without David Stern. Adam Silver. I don't know what Adam Silver is. I don't know if he's suspended indefinitely, Ja Morant, but I know for a fact he did it again, and he's gotten his shoe deals taken off the internet and all that stuff. What is wrong with these young kids? Like, all they want to do is be gangster wannabes and fight. And they say Ja Morant comes from like a nice suburban area. I don't know why he want to act like that, but that's so weird to me. Like, didn't he go to private school too? Like, why? But then again, you guys got to think about it too. You go to private school, there's always that one group of kids that just is trouble. And I'm not trying to be funny and say that because there's always that one group of kids that's trouble, smoke cigarettes, run with the background, and all this stuff. I don't want to say Ja Morant ran with them. Maybe he tried to run with them back in the day, but I think Ja Morant is trying too hard. And one day he gonna look back at it and just regret it. He gonna regret, oh man, what was I thinking? Come on, Ja. You gotta get it together. He's really young. He's younger than me because I saw a picture on Instagram, and I started Instagram when I was in high school, which was 2013. Cause see, back in the day when apps first came out, it was kind of like exclusivity. If I say that word wrong, don't judge me. It was like exclusivity. iPhone people got Instagram first, right? So I think Instagram came out in like 2012. I was a junior in high school, and then boom, it came out for Android people because I had an Android up until I was like 24. And then when I turned 24, I got my first iPhone, which was an iPhone 8. So he was on there, a little kid, younger than me. He probably looked 13, 14, 12, and I was 18. So, Ja Morant, I'm going to give you some advice. You're still young. Get it together. Don't go find Jesus or anything, but just still get your life together, man. And I don't want to hear your name in the news no more. I just wish I was your auntie sometimes so I could just talk to you and be like, put you on the right path. But, I'm not. I'm just me. Um, so what else is going on? Let's send a prayer up for Jamie Foxx. So this story to me has a lot of holes in it. What I heard was that Jamie had an aneurysm, a stroke, or something, and he had to be rushed to the hospital. And during that time, he was in Atlanta filming a movie with Cameron Diaz, which is weird because where did you find Cameron Diaz? Because like after she got married, she just kind of disappeared. But I understand why, because she became a mom and she was a wife. She married a Madden brother and all that stuff. But that's not about Cameron. It's about Jamie. Jamie had a heart attack, stroke, aneurysm, one of the things no one really confirmed. And he got rushed to the hospital. And we only found out because Corinne Fox, Jamie's daughter, oldest daughter, posted that my father, I'm paraphrasing, don't quote me exactly. My father, he had a medical emergency. He's in the hospital. He's recuperating. Thankfully, we reacted quickly and he's fine and blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is why sometimes the internet makes me mad. To make a long story short, the internet spun the whole thing. It reminds me of when Kobe Bryant died and stories was going rampant in the internet. And I remember one time they said Kobe and Rick Fox was in the plane. And I was thinking to myself, I don't know how true that is, because why would Rick Fox be with Kobe Bryant? And they're both retired, and Rick Fox is like an actor now. So with Jamie, they spun it that he had a stroke, he had an aneurysm, he was on drugs, he was doing this. I heard some videos on YouTube that he exposed Diddy for liking little boys. I don't know how that correlates and all that stuff. So all of that was getting out of control to a point where Corinne made another statement. This was probably like last week or a few days ago. She said, "Thank you so much for your prayers. My dad is," again, I'm paraphrasing, "my dad is fine. Actually, he was playing pickleball last week." And if you guys don't know what pickleball is, he kind of promotes it with like this little paddle thing and it's like table tennis in a way. I don't know. But she said that he was playing pickleball. Now, there is another report coming out that Jamie is actually in Chicago getting treatment. So I don't know what to believe, and I try not to believe anything. Of course, before I continue, I do want to mention that Jamie did post on Instagram story saying, "I'm feeling blessed. Thank you for all your love." But he was playing pickleball. But there's reports coming out that he's in Chicago getting treatment. You know what? It could be. Maybe it could be lost in translation. Maybe Jamie did go home for a little bit and play pickleball. And maybe he did come to Chicago to get a little treatment. But who knows? I like that everything is on the hush hush with this family because, like I said with the Kobe Bryant situation, the internet runs rampant. So I hope Jamie gets better. They did create another show with him and his daughter. I don't think they're gonna start filming it right away. Probably next year in 2024. That way, Jamie can get his rest, get his health together. I think I heard on the Joe Budden podcast. I think this past episode that Jamie canceled all of his jobs until the end of the year. So he's getting his rest, and then, you know, that new show will come out probably early next year or so. It's gonna be on Fox, I believe. So get well, Jamie. I love you. I've been a big fan since I was a little kid. I remember watching you on the Jamie Foxx show. I remember watching you on Any Given Sunday, Collateral, Ray, all that stuff. So get well, sir. Um, Monique's new Netflix special. Again, it is on Netflix. It was okay to me. Um, Monique hasn't done a special in a long time, and I don't want to say it's been since the Queens of Comedy, because if you guys really pay attention to like Tubi and Crackle and YouTube, you would see that Shaq would host comedy shows for All Star Weekend. I don't know if he's been doing it these past couple of years, because I know this past year, well, I think it was this year or last year, the All Star Weekend was in Utah, so I don't see how he would host something like that in a place like Utah. But he would host, stand up shows. Deion Cole, Arnez J, uh, Monique would host, and all that good stuff. Um, to me, it was okay. The big thing that truly happened was that Monique basically came out as bisexual. And the thing with me is like, if you're gay, straight, bisexual, queer, all that stuff, that's cool. But I don't see a reason why to announce it, and I don't see why there's a reason for it to be news. That I don't, what I'm trying to say is like, if you are what you are, it's 2023. It's like, it's cool. I mean, you know, you don't have to announce it. It doesn't need to be news. That's your life. You know what I mean? Other than that, the special was okay. I laughed here and there. She looked great. She lost a lot of weight. If you follow her on Instagram, I don't, I should. But she's been adopting this like vegetarian lifestyle. She eats better, she works out and all that stuff. But she looked great. Um if I were to give it a grade, I would give it a B minus. Only because she's Monique, and I love Monique because she reminds me so much of my aunt who died when I was 21. And every time I just hear anything from her, I see that resemblance, like she's loud, she's confident, she's funny, and all that stuff. So, will Monique get another one? In my opinion, I don't think so. I think Monique should really go back to acting because she did have great success with that. Maybe do another comedy TV show. And speaking of comedy TV shows, she's actually suing Paramount for royalties for the Parkers. I think she should be all for it because let me explain something to y'all. The Parkers is streamed on Netflix. The Parkers is streamed on Pluto TV. It's streamed on I want to say Cat Crackle. It's basically streamed on these free if you have like a Roku or a if you have a Roku or a Fire Stick or anything like that, and you stream your TV shows, it's likely that the Parkers will be on there. And with these free apps, she doesn't get paid for that. And you know how popular the Parkers is? Like, I scroll through Instagram. I don't know why, and it's weird that they know I'm starting to binge watch these shows. I see old clips of TV shows from like the 90s and stuff. And sometimes, like today, about an hour ago when I was working on a YouTube video, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a old video, old scene of Monique being Nikki Parker on Moesha. It's everywhere. So she deserves her money, and she said that the cast is sticking with her. Countess Vaughn is by her side about it. I think they still show reruns on like the smaller channels. I don't know if they show it on BET, but I know like I have it on my Philo. It's called Clio TV or something. I know they show reruns on there. Maybe they do show reruns on Bounce TV. I'm not sure. I haven't watched Bounce TV in a long time. So yeah, like Monique, get your money because that Parker's is everywhere, and also is worldwide. Like, get your money, Monique. I was gonna call her Nikki, but get your money, Monique, because the Parkers is a popular show. Like, we still love the Parkers, even though it ended like almost 20 years ago. We still love it. Um, Coolio, rest in peace to Coolio. If you guys don't remember, Coolio passed away like early this year, late last year. So they just revealed the cause of death for Coolio. It was the big F word. The same F word that took Michael K. Williams away from us. The same F word that took Mac Miller away from us. If you guys don't remember, they found Coolio dead at his friend's house in LA. And honestly, Coolio just doesn't seem the type to do drugs. I mean, I heard he used to do them like back in the day and then he got clean. I didn't know. I mean, of course, drug use is private sometimes, but he doesn't seem like the type to do that. Like, I never met Coolio, sadly, and but from what people tell stories about him, he was a cool guy, always positive and all that stuff. But that also goes to show you that you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So rest in peace to Coolio. And wherever he got it from, if he got it from a dealer, I hope his family gets justice because what is wrong with people who deals that stuff? Also, Aaron Carter, his cause of death was revealed. He had a drug overdose, and he died of huffing. And if you don't know what huffing is basically, say you have a can of I don't want to say spray paint or something, and you inhale it. So he basically died from that, and ever since that news came out, I never let go of the pictures of his mom posting of his house and that tub full of like yellow water and all that stuff. It just never left my memory. So may they both rest in peace, and may they both, well, I mean, may Coolio's family get justice if, dealing was involved, and Aaron continue to rest in peace. He is no longer in pain and suffering. Poor guy. I never, I mean, I did kind of tell the story, but it's the coolest story ever. I never met Aaron, but I spoke to him on the phone. Cool guy, very nice. I was like 17, 18, and this was when like celebrities had like, they had their personal numbers that they did not share, but then they had another number you could call them. And he was just such a sweetheart, and it's so sad, and he's so talented. Like, I was listening to what's that song? I'm All About You. He made that song when he was like 13, 14. I'm 28 years old listening to it, and he's singing it like rent is due tomorrow. Okay? Like, that's my jam. Rest in peace, Aaron. I miss you, man. I miss you. And lastly, in this section of news, somebody broke into Michael Jordan's house in Highland Park. Some young kids. Why? The house is up for the market. Like, ain't nothing in there. He probably took everything with him. Michael Jordan lived in Florida. Everything probably down in Florida with him. So it's not smart. Not smart at all. So for this next section, I just want to start with this. Marques Houston and Brian McKnight, y'all both need to shut up because y'all digging yourselves in some bigger holes, okay? Marques Houston, number one, his wife is 22 years old. Marques Houston is about 40. Now, I am all for age gap couples. I date older men. I love older men. But there should be yeah, what's that? There should be like a limit to it, okay? I'm 28. I date 40-year-olds. To me, that's fine because I'm almost 30. Now, with Marques Houston, he met his wife when she was 17. She was a runaway. Got married when she was 18, and she had a baby when she was 19. She's probably 20 now. Marques Houston is 40. To me, that's weird because they met at 17. They got married. They met at 17. She got married at 18. She's still a child. Okay, she's still a child. Marques Houston went on an interview to say, "I don't date women with children because it's too much baggage." I'm paraphrasing. So here's my opinion. This is my podcast. I don't care. I own this podcast. You can argue with me in my social media. I don't care, but this is my opinion. And this is for the internet too. I had a discussion with this with a lot of people. Number one, why do people these days punish single parents? I don't want to date him because he has a child. What has the child done to you? I don't mind dating a man with kids. I dated a man with kids. He had great kids. There was no drama. Y'all coming up with these scenarios in y'all head or something. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but maybe because I got lucky and I've picked in the past, I should say, men with, great kids and a great family situation. Just didn't work out. Whatever happened in not working out? maybe I had this opinion and I never really shared this on my podcast. My parents broke up before I was born, right? My mother lives on one part of up northern Illinois. My father lives on the other side, somewhere in northern Illinois. They have not spoken in 10 years. And it's all cool. Like, there's no beef. I grew up, my brother grew up, and there was no reason to talk for them. My dad's remarried. My mom was a single parent. Like, it's all good. That was my situation. Maybe it's me, and I think that that's for all. I don't understand, like, why do people not want to date people would, there's some, I understand, oh, they still mess with the baby mama, but that's not always the case. Oh, I won't date someone with kids unless the other parent's dead. Like, that's kind of extreme. Like, you guys with that mentality, and you're kind of missing out on your blessing, because the love of your life might have a 2-year-old daughter, and you kind of get mad that she exists, in my opinion. I don't understand that. And then the memes, like, maybe I'm just so sensitive, or I'm old school. Like, there's memes about, oh, F him, and no, well, I wouldn't say that because I experienced that, but, um, you know, the baby mama and the bald headed baby, like, there are memes basically that talk about the baby mama and the child. What did the child do? And that's not fair. That's not fair, and that's not funny. Maybe because me, um, in short terms, I was supposed to be a parent, so I'm kind of sensitive to comments like that. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Whenever I hear the "girl fuck you and fuck them kids" thing on TikTok, I know it was from a movie, but I don't feel comfortable with that. Like, that's just me. That's just my opinion. But I mean, remember, the Lord is watching you if you do. I don't know. But back to Marques Houston. He basically said that he don't date women with kids because it causes a lot of baggage. Now, hold on. Well, he don't. Okay. He's married, but, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But first of all, that's going back to innocently punishing innocent children. 2, it makes you look more guilty of what you did because you swear up and down that I didn't start dating my wife until she was 18. But still, she was 18. Now, again, I date older men, but I waited until I was 25. If she was 25, it would be understandable, because you see these men with 25-year-old wives. I don't have a problem with that. But she was 18. She just graduated from high school, and she ran away from home. And there was stories that, she claimed they met in Jehovah's Witness situation. And, we all know Jehovah's Witness ain't all the way there. He just digging himself in a bigger hole. And then, of course, you go back to when Raz B and his brother, came out and said what Chris Stokes and all that. It's just a big mess. And Marques Houston, you're not a very, I don't want to say a bad person, but you don't look good right now. You don't look good right now. Just go into hiding at this point. Just go into hiding. Don't say no more. Don't say nothing else. Okay? Just keep quiet. As for Brian McKnight, him too. Brian McKnight is currently having a feud with his children from, I guess, his first marriage. And there were stories that, the daughter, he sued the daughter, or the daughter sued him, because there was a rumor that she was sleeping with a cousin, and they had to go to court, and she had to, like, not expose, but, like, explain to a judge who she was sleeping with. That is the worst thing ever. Like, why? What? And she's his oldest daughter, right? But now Brian McKnight is going on Instagram saying to his stepdaughter, "You're the reason why I became a girl dad," or whatever. No, the daughter you took to court is the reason you became a girl dad. But you treated her like okay? And he named his little baby that he had with his wife now Brian McKnight Jr. Y'all want to know what the gag is? There's already a Brian McKnight Jr. That's Brian McKnight Jr., the second's older brother. And yeah, it's a big mess. Like, people are saying, and this is my opinion, this is my podcast, you don't like it, boo-hoo. People say about R. Kelly, they should separate the person from the artist. No. Let's use that towards Brian McKnight. Because don't get me wrong, Brian McKnight made some hits. You're the only one. For me, Hold Me, the version without Kobe Bryant, Anytime, every Every time you go away, because my mother used to play the hell out of that song. What else? That one song he made with Nelly, that was hot. I like those songs, but right now I don't like Brian McKnight, the person, for what he has done. So yes, separate Brian McKnight, the singer, from Brian McKnight, the person. I'll still listen to his music, but if I see Brian McKnight in the street, I'm just gonna look at him with disgust, because how could you do that? And then his first wife, I think her name is Julie. She seems like a beautiful woman. She went on Instagram. She was not yah and tirade. She wasn't. She was calm. She seemed like she was zen in a good place, and I think she just explained everything. I saw her on live. I just didn't watch it, but I guess she explained everything. So that was very classy of her. So yeah, freaking frack, y'all better shut up before y'all get yourselves some more trouble, okay? So, moving on from that, Freaknik is having a documentary on Hulu. Am I excited for it? Sure. Freaknik wasn't really my era. It ended in '98. I was 3. I don't know a lot about Freaknik. I just know you go down there and a bunch of nasty stuff happens. So I'm willing to learn more about the history of Freaknik, and I'm not looking forward to seeing the footage because ew. But thankfully, my parents were in their mid 30s, so I didn't have to worry about that. And they already had kids before me, so there was no way they were going to leave their kids with somebody to go down there. That's just weird. HBO Max is rebranding. I'm looking forward to that, mainly because I'm looking forward to seeing Kendra Sells Hollywood. I kind of miss Kendra. I liked her on Girls Next Door. So I'm looking forward to seeing her do real estate. It's always, she's divorced now. She's got her 2 kids. I just want to see what the next chapter of her story is. There's going to be more different types of shows. Anytime a app rebrands, I look forward to it because there might be more content for me to like. Netflix should take note. But Selling Sunset comes back tonight. Probably won't. I'll watch it tomorrow because uh, California, I guess that's where Netflix is based. They release stuff at 12, which is 2 o'clock here in the Midwest. So I'm not staying up. I got things to do. So I can't wait for that. And Escape, the Escape and SWV show ended. Unfortunately, like I always do, I waited the last minute to review a show that ends. But we were all wrong. We were right, but we were wrong when we were blaming Latasha for it. It was mostly her husband. It was her husband's doing. I want to say we owe Latasha an apology, but no, because Latasha just sat there and she let it happen, which is still messed up, and which is still under the account that she stole from her sister. I don't know if they still speak, but I know, like, I watched some of the news clippings. It's just them 3, and they sound really good, actually. I don't know if she's still singing with them. And then she released that gospel album, Latasha, and then I heard it didn't do so good. That's karma right there. What makes you think? And I don't care if it's gospel. I believe in God and all that stuff, but I also believe in karma. You thought you were going to use this platform to promote your gospel album, and God is good and all that stuff. He is good. Don't get me wrong. But karma is always present, and unfortunately her album didn't do so well. So sorry, Latasha. Sorry, but not sorry. That's sorry for you, but at the same time, that's what you get. That's just one of my opinion. Last, oh wait, no, actually 2 more stories. The U.S. refuses to bring charges to the murderers of Shanquella Robinson, which kind of disappoints me because she was a young lady that had her life together. She was a businesswoman. She was beautiful, and these jealous people killed her for no reason. And it's like human law. If you kill, you get punished. So why are you not punishing these people who killed this innocent soul? I don't understand. I read in the comments, you guys know I don't really follow Shade Room or any of those websites anymore in social media because sometimes it's just too much. But they kept repeating that the US don't care about Black women, and I started to have that mentality. I don't care if it happened in Mexico. I don't know if Mexico is doing something about it, but it's still messed up. She was innocent. She was killed out of jealousy. So, of course, the killers should be punished. Lastly of this section, shout out to Martin Lawrence. He got his Hollywood star. Martin, he been deserved this. I mean, honestly, Martin's been working since the 80s. If you guys don't know, he was in What's Happening Now, and then he got Def Jam, and then Martin. And after Martin, he starred in a string of successful movies. But these past few years, he sporadically did movies. He did, I think he did Bad Boys 4. No, Bad Boys 3. I went to go see that. That was the last movie I went to go see in the theaters before the pandemic, and that was pretty good. He was in a couple more projects. He did like the Martin reunion and all that stuff. But he really deserves it because he's done a lot of movies. So congratulations, Martin. And he looked great. So congratulations. Let me start off by saying rest in peace, John Singleton. And Snowfall is one of the greatest TV shows in the 2010s. Don't argue with me, I'm right. So Snowfall ended after 5 seasons? And everyone has been talking about the ending of the show. I am happy that the story of Franklin Saint has an ending. I am upset about how the story ended. And am I looking forward to the spinoff with Wanda, aka Gail Bean? Um, so Franklin Saint's story, in a nutshell, is this young kid from South Central LA was supposed to go to college, got caught up in the drug game because of his uncle, and blah blah blah. Got rich. Now the end has come. He lost everything and became an alcoholic. It makes me sad because Franklin and his family had everything, right? Aunt Louie and Uncle Jerome had a really nice house, and Franklin had real estate and a beautiful fiance, girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to call it. He had his friends from the old neighborhood by his side and all that stuff. But yeah, he lost everything and became an alcoholic. I was right. All the predictions I made over the years since I started watching Snowfall, I was right. That one season, I guess it was season 3 or 4, that Leon was going to royally screw up. He did. And I was really right about Franklin Saint's baby mama. She was a snake. So, but what happened was Franklin put his hands on her and she took all his money and took their baby and left the country. And Franklin was down on his luck, living in Wanda's grandmother's old house, and it was a hoarder nightmare, and he didn't go outside a lot, and when he did, he looked terrible. His character's teeth, I know how it works because I studied acting and theater and costume and all that stuff. So they made him like a rotten tooth, like veneer. So Franklin's teeth basically rotted. It was terrible. It was a sad sight to see. But it's one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Wonderfully written. John Singleton would be so proud. So there's going to be a spinoff with Wanda's character. We don't know what it's about. There was some assumptions that she's going to be running the clinic that Austin opened. Maybe she's going to, show off her new life with Leon, aka Isaiah John. Like, we don't know. Unless I won't know until I see a preview. And once I see a preview, I hope I understand what's going to happen next. But that's all I'm going to say. It's going to be in the books for one of the greatest TV shows. It's going to be a situation where years from now, if I have children or my nieces and nephews grow up, I probably will catch them binge watching it on like Netflix or something if they get their acts together. But yeah, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Just a sad ending. speaking of TV shows, Suge Knight wants to do a Death Row series. And from what he said is that he wants to do an individual story of each Death Row Records artist. So this is what I really wanted, and I wanted to do it, but how am I going to get in the door, right? I mean, at the same time, it might be repetitive because we had Straight Outta Compton. It told the story of Dr. Dre, how he got into the business and his life, and how he left his mother's house and left his brother behind, and his mother was upset that he couldn't get his life together when she wanted him to, and all that stuff. And then we know the story of Ice Cube and how he was bused to white neighborhoods to go to school and all that stuff. I mean, of course, there's the documentaries and stuff about how Harry O and all that stuff. So to me, looking at it might be repetitive, but at the same time, Death Row's history did go past Tupac dying. There was a time where, you know, Death Row was still running. I think Michelet was running it when, Suge went to jail, Tupac died. And then Corrupt came over. He started being like vice president and all that stuff. And that's what kind of caused a rift between him and Snoop, all that stuff. And then, of course, hopefully Suge will do the history up into the point where Snoop owns it. And he's putting out all these new artists and stuff. I never had a chance to really sit and listen to him, but he's doing his thing with it. Um, and and what I also noticed is that some of the Death Row documentaries, I don't remember for Death Row Chronicles that came out on BET like 3 years ago. I don't remember them going over the history of when, after he went to prison and then Corrupt was there and he was signing like Lisa Left Eye Lopez and all that stuff. I would like to see that because maybe that will give me more clarity on what happened there and all that stuff. But I just hope it's not repetitive because I already know the story. Founded by the DOC, Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, Harry O. We know that part. Okay, the success, the crime, Doggy Style, Tupac signing on a piece of paper. That was his contract. Now he signed that. We know that stuff. We know that through the movies. We know that through the documentaries. But I need to know what happened beyond when, things started to crumble. But nobody talks about things when they start to crumble. But I want to know that part of the history. They fired Don Lemon. CNN, why y'all fired Don Lemon? I like Don Lemon. He tell it like a TIA is like there was I think it was during like when Black Lives Matter was really like, growing to what it is now, like an important organization. And I remember Don Lemon just going on national CNN TV and just breaking down, crying. And that's the real one right there. Why y'all fire a real one? I don't know. I mean, I heard Charles Barkley and I think that's Charles Barkley. Somebody in Gayle King is getting a show on CNN, and I don't know why. Nobody really watches the news because that stuff is depressing. Honestly, I don't know why would y'all. I mean, Gayle, she does her thing on the channel, does NBC or CBS News or whatever. I don't know why they want to give her a show on CNN. I don't think nobody will really watch. But I don't know what's gonna happen to Don Lemon. I hope he get another like good job. I mean, he's Don Lemon. He'll be fine. That's still messed up what they did though. That's why I don't watch any big news outlets because y'all weird. Y'all are really weird, honestly. Diddy versus JD versus is something I need. My 7-year-old self needs. When I was 7 years old, 2002, Diddy and Jermaine Dupri ran the airwaves. Diddy had I Need a Girl, part 1 and part 2. I want to say we ain't going nowhere. But that was probably 1999, 2000. That's still the early 2000s. Of course, he had 1997, No Way Out, 98, No Way Out, Forever. And then he produced Biggie and all that stuff. Jermaine Dupri, very talented. Since the early 90s, around the same time, yeah. He had, Escape. He had Jagged Edge. He had Crisscross. Then you go into 2000s, Welcome to Atlanta. And then Who else did he have? Division. I mean, that's now, but still very talented. I'm gonna enjoy this versus, and I hope it's big and it's not gonna be bootleg like they did Babyface and Teddy Riley. It's gonna be on a stage somewhere. If it was up to me and I had the money, I would want to be there in person. It's my childhood. Like, come on. I grew up. I grew up with Diddy and Jermaine Dupri all on my radio. Diddy and Jermaine Dupri all on the TV. All that stuff. So I hope it's gonna be good. And lastly, Kim and Croy Bierman from The Real Housewives of Atlanta is getting a divorce. I have two opinions on this. One, in the back of my mind, I think this is some sort of scheme to cover their butts because they do owe $1 million in back taxes. I don't know how you can owe $1 million in back taxes, but then again, they had a really nice house and they were spending like crazy, like everyone else says. And I kind of believe it because, Kim hasn't been on her show. Like, I think her show got canceled by Bravo. And I knew that the cancellation was coming because I used to really like Don't Be Tardy because it would follow them around in their house in Atlanta or their adventures all over Atlanta. And then the last season was basically them being on an RV, traveling, going to casinos and stuff. Like, no one wants to see that. Come on now. And I'm not trying to sound mean, but from the preview when I saw it, it looked really boring and I didn't like it. The other part of my opinion is that, again, like I said earlier in this podcast, we really don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Because there was a story released today that Kim wanted Croy to be drug tested to be around the kids because he smokes weed. Any responsible parent who smokes weed would know to not smoke around their children. I mean, there are some parents out there that do smoke around their children. Don't understand why. I don't want to get in the middle of that. And I remember watching this season when Kim met Croy and she was so in love with him. She was always in love with him. Like, they were on Instagram together, booed up, So we don't know what goes on, but as I didn't want to talk about this on the podcast because, one, I don't talk about people's downfalls, but it's in the news that they were going to lose that pretty house they had out in the suburbs of Atlanta. So now Croy wants the house in full custody. Like, something must be bad if he wants full custody because we all know Kim loves her children. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, and I won't comment too much on it because, what do I know? And I don't want to sound like these YouTubers out here, especially Tasha K. I don't want nothing taken away from me because, Cardi B is seizing Tasha K's money, and that's the mess. Because how you going to take away? But then, Tasha K did not let up, so it was her fault. But at the same time, Tasha K needs to survive. So Cardi, how do you? I want to stay out of it because I just don't want my money taken away. So yeah, I'll just cross that off my list too. Wendy's is selling canned chili. I don't know why that is news because I do not like Wendy's chili anyway, but I don't think it'll be good for us. Anything that goes from a restaurant to a can is not good for you, and it will not taste the same. I have a theory. I have not tried it yet. I cannot find one for the cheap. The Cheesecake Factory cheesecakes, they sell them whole at the grocery store, but they look way better when you're at the Cheesecake Factory. So I will not be trying that. But thanks anyway. The Red Table Talk is canceled. I'm very happy about that because honestly, to me, that show is kind of toxic. Remember after Will slapped what's his face? I think that's when he went on there. And then they had Whitney Houston's ex-girlfriend or ex-friend on there, and she was telling all the. It was just basically an invite for Jada Pinkett Smith to let people in their house and just tell us what happened. That's why I never really liked the show. I never really watched it, so I'm glad it's off the internet. But knowing Jada and knowing what connections she might have in Hollywood, she'll probably bring it to like a streaming service or something. Probably bring it to like daytime TV. Did you guys also hear that they're moving Kelly Clarkson's show to New York for tax reasons? So that's crazy because Kelly Clarkson just bought she didn't just bought, but she has a beautiful house in California. So that means she won't have to give it up and move to cold New York. I don't understand tax things like that. Let's see what else is going on. Well, I guess I can oh no. Usher versus Chris Brown. When I first heard that news, I knew something was not right. And it was, to me, basically fake because we saw Usher's face and he was not bruised. But there was a small argument between them over Tiana Taylor. Tiana ignored Chris Brown at a skating rink. Usher tried to step in. That's what happened. Nobody got beat up. None of that stuff. So TMZ, shame on you. Don't hype nothing up that didn't really happen. Before I close out this podcast, I do want to send out a rest in peace to Harry Belafonte, who was an activist for Black history. He lived a full life. I think he was like 96 years old. He also made the song Dale, Dale. I don't know the lyrics and I don't want to butcher it out of respect for Mr. Belafonte, but he did make that song. And rest in peace, Jerry Springer. No one knew he was sick. It's pretty sad. Jerry Springer was a part of everyone's childhood, especially my childhood, because oddly enough, Jerry Springer, when I was in preschool, was on the TV when I came home from preschool. So I remember the crazy fights and all that stuff. So rest in peace, Jerry Springer. Thank you for being a part of everyone's childhood, my childhood as well. And I think it's going to wrap it up for me because it's almost 12 o'clock and I'm tired and I'm a little hungry. I thank y'all so much for your support. Thank everyone from every platform. You can follow me on YouTube, Amanda Marie Thompson. I'm going to be trying to post more things. And yeah, thanks y'all for the support. I got a lot of love for everybody, and I hope everybody got love for me. And I'm signing off. Bye.